All right, let's talk about cinnamon. You know that ancient spice that's suddenly all over our social media feeds? We're going to dive right in and get to the bottom of it.
I mean, can it really melt belly fat? Can it replace your medications? You've seen those headlines, right? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise and separate the science-backed facts from the fiction.
So, first things first, before we can even talk about what it does, we've got to understand what cinnamon is. What's actually in that little spice jar in your kitchen?
Yeah, this is no modern health fad. We're talking about a spice made from the inner bark of a tree, and its use goes back thousands of years. I'm talking ancient Egypt, where it was so incredibly rare and valuable, it was literally considered a gift fit for a king. Pretty amazing, right? So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, it pretty much all comes down to one key compound, cinnamaldehyde. Think about it. This one little thing is responsible for that amazing smell, that unique flavor, and most of the powerful health effects we're going to talk about. It's the star of the show. Okay, and this is maybe the most important thing you need to know. Not all cinnamon is the same. Not even close. You've got two main types. On one side, there's Ceylon, which people call true cinnamon. It's milder, and crucially, it's way safer for daily use because it's super low in a compound called coumarin. Then you have cassia. This is the stuff you probably have in your pantry right now. It's cheaper, stronger, but it's packed with that coumarin compound, which in high doses can be a real problem for your liver. So yeah, knowing the difference isn't just trivia. It's vital. All right, now that we know what we're actually talking about, let's get to the good stuff. Let's fact check some of these big health claims. What does the science really have to say? Okay, let's start with the big one. The claim you hear everywhere, that cinnamon helps lower your blood sugar. Now, this is one of its most well-researched benefits, so let's break down exactly how it pulls this off. It's pretty cool, actually. It doesn't just do one thing. It's like a three-pronged attack on high blood sugar. First, it makes your body more sensitive to insulin, the hormone that's in charge of sugar. Second, it actually slows down how fast you break down carbs after you eat. And get this, a compound in cinnamon can even mimic insulin, basically helping to shuttle sugar out of your blood and into your cells where it belongs. But how much do you actually need for it to work? Well, human studies show the sweet spot is somewhere between 1 and 6 grams a day. To give you an idea, that's roughly half a teaspoon to maybe 2 full teaspoons. So we're not talking about a huge amount here. And the good news doesn't stop with blood sugar. A lot of research also points to some pretty significant benefits for your heart. Let's see what the data supports. And the evidence here is really compelling. We're talking about studies showing that consistent cinnamon use can lower your triglycerides, and it can also bring down your total and your LDL, that's the bad cholesterol. On top of that, it can even help reduce blood pressure. I mean, these are all major risk factors for heart disease, which is still the #1 cause of death in the world. So this is significant. Okay, now let's tackle the giant myth you see plastered all over social media. The idea that cinnamon directly melts or burns fat. Let me be perfectly clear. There is just no solid science to back this up. It's just not true. Pure fiction. So, what's really going on then? Well, the truth is, it supports your weight goals, but it does it indirectly. See, by helping manage your blood sugar, it helps you avoid those crazy cravings and stops you from overeating. It can also slow down digestion a bit, which helps you feel fuller for longer. So, no, it's not a magic fat-burning bullet, but what it does do is help create a healthier environment inside your body that just makes managing your weight a whole lot easier. All right, so knowing all these benefits is fantastic, but how do you actually use it the right way to get those perks safely? Well, let's get into your official cinnamon user's guide. A really simple, evidence-backed way to do this is to make cinnamon water. It's super easy. You just boil a cup of water, and then you add 1 Ceylon cinnamon stick. And remember, Ceylon is the one you want for daily use. Or you can use about half a teaspoon of Ceylon powder. Let that steep for about 10 to 15 minutes with the lid on top, and then strain it out right away. Then just let it cool down a bit before you drink. But of course, the next question is, when should you drink it? Believe it or not, the timing can actually make a pretty big difference depending on what your goal is. So you really want to match your timing to your goals. If you're focused on weight management, having it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach might help give your metabolism a little nudge. If it's more about digestion, try drinking it about 20 to 30 minutes before a meal. It can really help with bloating. And what about at night? Probably best to skip it. Cinnamon is a warming spice, and for some people, that can actually mess with their sleep. And look, I have to come back to this because it is so important. That coumarin compound in cassia cinnamon, the common stuff, can be tough on your liver if you're having it in high doses every day. That's why choosing Ceylon for daily use isn't just a recommendation. It is a really critical safety step. We want the benefits, not the risks, right? And all of this brings us to what might be the most important takeaway of all, putting cinnamon in its proper place. There's this quote from the research that just sums it up perfectly. It says, "Think of cinnamon as a supportive ally in your weight management journey. Helpful, but not the hero." I love that. It's a helper. It complements a healthy diet and exercise. It absolutely does not and cannot replace them. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you know the difference between the two main types of cinnamon, will you look at that little spice in your kitchen cabinet a little differently? It's just a great reminder that even the simplest things in our pantry can have a really complex and fascinating story.